Yeah. And so, you have this ceremony at the last SmackDown where it's, now he is Solo's taking over the reins of the head of the table and the smashing of Paul Heyman, which was a good thing. Yeah, which was a good thing to see because it showed that story. We're not even close to done. Like we're gonna get this. We're gonna get the true bloodline civil war that we've always wanted.
Did you hear that Paul Heyman wouldn't eat leading up to that point?
You see how he looked? I mean,
because he wanted to look awful.
Yeah, well, he did.
He wasn't eating or sleeping because he wanted to look that convincing. This is why Paul Heyman's the fucking GOAT.
Welcome to the lower mid-card where legends rise. Brian and Kyle Driver, the ring's wise guys. Talking smack, breaking backs, no holds barred. On the lower mid-card, the action's avant-garde.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Lower Midcard Podcast. I'm Kyle Driver.
And I'm Grind. From one PLE to the next, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy that we get monthly PLEs.
Yeah, well, not just that, but...
Or every other.
It feels like they've been coming closer and closer together, and then WWE will do this thing where it gives us a stretch for like a little over a month, which can be quite annoying. But if it's timed correctly towards WrestleMania and whatnot, I totally understand. Gives that run to WrestleMania, man. That road to WrestleMania was I think it was over like 30 days, and it felt long. It felt like a long time, but you know what? It was worth it. So, I mean, I guess they know what they're doing. I'll tell you this: PLEs have not been in. We have not had one in the United States this year, or no, since WrestleMania. I think that's quite crazy to think about. But at the same time, I'm loving the fact that they're pushing the initiative to be outside the United States, because I think what it will do for the fans inside the United States is make these events even bigger, more of a spectacle, and hopefully the fans start to learn, the United States fans, hopefully they start to learn how to act like France, man, because France just was one
undefeated.
Of the... Oh, my God, dude. Well, you know what? Puerto Rico, France, those two in the last 2 years.
Scotland did good.
Yeah. But France, dude, France was like...
France is unparalleled.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I don't even know where they are for Money in the Bank. I know I'm pretty sure it's not here. Is it?
No.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Where is it? Hold on. Let's fucking look.
It's IC London, IC France, IC Kyle Driver's underpants. Wait, what?
You can see my underpants right now?
No, you're good, dude.
No, it's in Canada. It
is in Canada. Okay, so I was right. It's outside of the United States. Yeah. Canada, I mean, is it Quebec? Where are we talking? Toronto. Toronto's so hit or miss, man. Toronto's known for its sports, but the thing is it's kind of like the US of A, where we've been given so much, right? We've been given so many big sporting events that I'm just, listen, there's one spot in the USA that I think that really hits hard. It's Boston. Outside of that, man, maybe Philadelphia. I mean, they kind of popped for the Mania, but nothing like France, dude.
No.
So, we get what we get. But the point is that I'm just, it's been cool to see these events outside of the big four on the road around the world. And I'm sure, well, actually, this one won't be a 10 a.m. wake-up call. Thank God, dude. Let's just start with Clash of the Castle, man. I'm gonna hand it off to you. I've been talking for a second. And honestly, Clash at the Castle was one of those events. We knew it was in Scotland. We knew it had a lot of weight to it. So let's go.
So we started off pretty hot out the gate. And that was with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. The build-up for this whole match was sure something. We got the Mark Henry, bamboozle from AJ Styles, and then that led to this bout. And I mean, we all knew the outcome of this one. It was a good match. I enjoyed watching it because our boys can go.
Yes, they can.
We know that they were going to put on a hell of a match. So, but we all knew the result. Cody Rhodes is going to have that title for a bit. So obviously Cody beats AJ. No surprise. We called that one.
Yeah, we did. And I mean, it lived up to everything that it should have. It was, I think, the most intriguing match. I mean, there was more intriguing matches, but it was the best technical match.
Sure.
I think so. If I remember correctly. And I remember there was a few moments because it was an I Quit match, right?
Yes.
Or am I doing that wrong?
It was an I Quit match, yeah.
Oh, that's what,
he had him handcuffed to the turnbuckle or something like that, and then he picked up the fucking steel steps and was going to bash him in. He was like, no.
That's what made it.
I quit.
Yeah, that's what made it very intriguing. So, little sidebar, I Quit matches to me, I didn't recognize that there had been like over a handful of them. The one that there's only like two, I think I remember. And I don't know where I was. I mean, prior to that, I was probably really little. I guess in the late 80s, early 90s, they were more common. But the one that really stuck out to me out of all time was The Rock versus Mankind I Quit match. And the way The Rock wins is he can't get Mankind to say I quit. So he uses like a voice recorder into the microphone. Yeah. And it's like he totally cheesed the system basically,
right?
And got Mankind to say I quit, and that was a very memorable match to me because it was so funny. It was every time he was like, "Do you quit?" And The Rock would come back and say some funny line about him not quitting. So the following one I remember after that is like I think Ronda Rousey was involved in an I Quit match at some point in recent history that was really did not follow suit in the eyes of like The Rock and Mankind. It wasn't of that level. So this was interesting because I know Cody and AJ would put on a technical spectacle, but to turn it into a I Quit match, I thought definitely added a really cool element to it. The best part was leading up to this. Cody said, "I might have to go full Homelander," and I think that is his next story arc. I mean, I was like, I always look at his get up and he's so perfect in the way he looks and just the character. But to add an element of a heel is going to be really interesting because it's going to happen. When it happens, I don't know. Can he stay babyface for a while? Yes, but but the Homelander aspect, dude. I mean, if he brings in especially with Triple H saying that them going to Netflix is going to the PG era is done. It's official. It's going to be really interesting to see if we get more of a darker Cody, kind of like what we saw with the I Quit match, where I did not think that's how it would have panned out with AJ in the corner, fearing for his life, and Cody just kind of being like, "Whoa," kind of like I didn't know I was capable of that kind of a thing. So it was a brilliant moment and really good to see that side of Cody. It's what we needed, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was nice. I guess we move on.
Yeah.
So our next match was Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, versus Bianca and Jade versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I did not see this one coming at all. None. I didn't think that they would. Okay, so the Unholy Union wins the women's tag titles, and I didn't see this fucking coming at all. I was no way that they were going to let that happen that soon. So there's obviously something that's going to be changing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have I'm fucking baffled.
Yeah, I've got mixed feelings for multiple reasons.
I like Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
Yeah,
I think they got a good thing. I like it. I think they're both they're enthusiastic. They nail that role that they play, being fucking mystical witches and all that shit. I think they pass it off, and they have it. They're there for a reason. I just didn't think that the change would have happened like that.
Yeah, the thing is, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are such powerful figures. To lose in the way they did, I get it, but I don't, because you have Jade, who you just brought into the scene, and she is this untouchable kind of thing. I mean, you
Goldberg effect.
yeah, and we're gonna actually touch on that here very, very soon when we get into Money in the Bank, which I think is a very Goldberg topic. But this Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, I thought, man. I mean, I still believe there's a story there between the two of them. Maybe they're speeding up faster than I would have liked. I didn't really have a hard time like understanding why they did what they did with the old Unholy Union. I think that what they recognize is that okay, we got three people or three different matches that are gonna have people from Scotland.
Yeah.
We have to give them one. You know,
Yeah.
if we start the night off hot with giving them the Unholy Union, I mean, what do we lose here? What we start, if anything, is the beginning of a Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill feud, which is not a bad thing going into SummerSlam.
No.
It's not a bad thing for Jade Cargill's first. I guess it would probably be her first singles main card match. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand why they did what they did. This match was like, hey, you get in to face Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. That was it. So if anything, I pray that we get Bianca and Jade Cargill at SummerSlam.
Feud. For sure.
Yeah. And I think that's the best out of it. For the tag team titles, I mean, I guess they're I don't know if they're the best to be holding the belts, but you know what? It made sense because the future of the Scottish talent for that night, it was rough. So let's move on. Yeah.
Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental. Okay.
Dude, I mean, all I can do is laugh because Sammy's going to do Sammy. Like we said, we called this, I feel like.
Yeah, we did.
Poor Chad Gable is just he's gonna get touched on a few different times tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's not touch him too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Let's not. Yeah, did come out a little strange. But Chad Gable, man, rough stint he's got going here. Has it been entertaining?
Oh yeah,
it's been fun.
So I mean, like. So obviously Sammy wins, like it's no fucking secret. But the things that happened afterwards were awesome. So it was last week where Otis, or was it last week or the week before?
It was Sunday. It was that Saturday. It was it was Clash at the Castle on Saturday, and then Monday was the
Monday,
big, the big
Monday,
one.
Monday it happened. He did it. It finally happened. Otis snapped.
Yeah.
And I was sitting right here watching, and I was screaming, yes, finally. And it was an incredible moment because
but it didn't end there. It didn't end there.
It was not end there.
No. It was amazing.
What a fucking night.
Yeah.
I mean, we really don't have to. I mean, it was a match.
Sami Zayn is getting really old to me. But it's funny because when I hear him talk on the mic, I feel like I hear the same.
It's the same thing he says.
It's the same, but it's the same attitude where it's like, you don't know me, you don't know what I'm capable of, kind of a thing. And it's like I don't want to say he peaked, but when he was Bloodline, that was
different.
It was different, but it was the best Sammy we've ever had. He was able to be funny. He was still able to be talented. And he had the right crew to kind of carry him where he needed to be carried. If anybody is in need of a faction, it's him, I think. It really. And you know what?
We'll touch on it.
We'll touch on it.
We're going to touch on that.
Yeah.
Very shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on.
Yeah.
We don't need to waste too much time on that match.
No.
And then we had Bayley versus Piper Niven. I think we said this too. It was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, dude. Chelsea Green, if I remember correctly, she kind of messed up the match a little bit for Piper Niven, right? Didn't like Piper Niven she wanted to kind of do it on her own, and she's like, "What are you doing out here?" And then Chelsea Green, I believe, gets kicked out of the arena. If I could,
She does.
Yeah.
I love Chelsea Green.
Yeah, I know you do.
I
hate
love her. Dude, I don't know. Maybe it's because like she was.
Most people love her though. Most people love her.
She's very entertaining in Lucha Underground.
Okay.
And I think people overlook Lucha Underground because it was a fucking great show.
Yeah.
But I understand why you don't. I just think I like the over the top, like just dramatic, so extra. I think it's funny. I find that entertaining.
Yeah, no, it is. It's super entertaining and it makes for a great time. Okay, so Chelsea Green, man, I totally understand why people like her, and I think that at the end of the day, she's going to be a star at some point. I don't like this Brat character, but we have to have a Brat. We got a Brat in is it Tiffany Stratton as well? So Tiffy time, and I feel like that's a much better. I feel like that's what Chelsea Green needed to be.
I feel the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think so I think that Chelsea Green's a bit more refined with that role. Mm-hmm. It feels more comfortable. It feels more fluid. With Tiffany, like I think that she's doing really good. Mm-hmm. I think that she's still hitting that role. But there's like little things where it's just like she could fine tune.
Gotcha.
I think she's. I mean, but then again, she's very young.
Yes.
In her career, Chelsea Green's been doing this
forever,
a bit longer.
Yeah.
Than her. So I think people don't realize how long Chelsea's been doing it. So
yeah, I don't realize how long she's been doing it. I mean, she's
been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
So but she's. I do think that they're both doing it well. I just think Chelsea's got the edge a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely screwed up Piper Niven's night. So
yeah. We're talking more about her than Piper Niven because it's just
because Piper Niven is, at the end of the day, and I've said this, it's
Niven.
You're like, hey man, you gotta kind of give her some kudos. She's on the main card. It's in her hometown. I go, yeah, but because it's Piper Niven, dude. Like you can only go so far with it, and the bummer is at the end of the day, like. I mean, that would have been like the big, like, would
have been like, what the fuck?
I mean, they're just handing the belt to anybody at that point because it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But it is what it is. Bayley retains. Her journey, I think I know where it's going, and we'll talk about it as we get closer to the Money in the Bank conversation.
Word. Anyway, let's move on to the main event.
Yes.
Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre. Hey, who nailed this one?
Yeah. Okay.
Who was it? Can you tell me who it was?
Starts with a K, ends with a Ivor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nailed this one fucking
to
down.
a T. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold this for a second because I fucking mic. Yeah, I nailed this one.
Yeah, you did, and you couldn't be more on it, which is disgusting. The biggest bummer I think coming out of it is it's like I don't want to say it's like the Montreal Screwjob because it's not. It's if anything, it's a homage to the Montreal Screwjob kind of, but it's not. CM Punk being CM Punk doing CM Punk things, we are going to get a one hell of a match when it happens. I'm excited. I'm assuming it's at SummerSlam.
100% going to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, I know if you look at Cody's Road, that's fucking story we had to talk about for 2 years that nobody gives a fuck about anymore. Nobody's talking about that. Drew McIntyre is really, if he would just change his like finisher and get away from the fucking drop kick, which it's so stupid.
I agree. I don't like it.
The Claymore. I mean, come on, dude. The Claymore is a great name. The move, not so much.
No. The name is cooler than the move.
Yeah. That and his sword were my biggest complaints. And when he talks about,
he doesn't do the sword anymore, though.
I know that, and he talks.
Thank
God. He does this thing where he wears his kilt and then he goes, "Don't look up my fucking skirt." And I'm like, "Stop it, dude! Nobody's thinking like that, you fucking perv." It's in his head, right? If he would just get away from that
Relax.
shit, dude, I think he is the most ideal. Like if you took a wrestling doll, he is that guy. Like he's what we wanted from the 80s and the early 90s. Like he is the jacked out of his mind, just chiseled. He's got the cool look. He's got the accent. I mean, that guy, he would have been world champion for at least a few years. And we're in this weird world now where he's not, and he can't hold it for more than a second. And so I think he's going to get his time. I really do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When? I don't know, man. Who knows? Because there's a few guys on this roster that have been deserving of belts, and they haven't even had a shot yet. So,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't know when his turn will be, but it's not. It's a good story for him right now. The CM Punk thing is, when it happens, it will be money. It'll be cash money, dude. They've been it's been talked about since prior to WrestleMania. So I'm excited. All that match did was excite me. Because I didn't see it going down like that. No, you had said it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm just.
Here's the question. Did you know when they panned the camera and you see the new referee in the ring? Did you know that was CM Punk initially?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, because that was fucking amazing.
I was caught off guard.
Totally.
I was like, there ain't no way I was right.
When he stopped, I knew. When he stopped counting, I knew. But when those initial 1, 2, I had no fucking clue. So kudos to the WWE for, changing the camera angles on us and making it so smooth transition wise. After that, which was if you had to rate the, we haven't been doing this for a while, but if you had to rate it out of 5 stars, what are you giving that card?
2.5.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah. I'll give it a 3 just because I was entertained from top to bottom. Other than that, it was just good wrestling. Nothing crazy. Moving on, that was Saturday. And then you had all Sunday to soak that in. And Monday Night Raw comes around, dude. And it
oh, boy.
Listen, Monday Night Raw for the last month has been so good. It's been my favorite thing to watch, and it does this every now and then, but it's been so consistent, man. And I would say SmackDown's been just as good, but there's something about Raw in those 3 hours. There's been matches and situations that have unfolded that I would have never seen coming. So the big one being we knew there was a timer, and it was like, we're here. And it was the Uncle Howdy reveal. And, I had been following it pretty darn close. And I every day was looking for new clues and, spoilers and whatnot. And, they had talked about it being the Wyatt Six. And so that got really interesting because they started diving into that. And I had heard the rumors of who it was going to be and, who they were targeting and whatnot, but you never know. You never know what the WWE is going to do, what kind of last second changes they're going to make. And this was, you can tell, something that had been in the mix for a long time. Bray died back in, I believe, August. They shot the documentary. The documentary comes out in March, right? And at the end of the Bray Wyatt documentary, have a lantern, a little teaser with a lantern, and then a shadow of Uncle Howdy in the background. And that was the first real spoiler of, holy shit, it looks like he's going to come back. He had made comments about how, it's his legacy. It's his job to continue Bray's legacy because that's what Bray would have wanted. And so, it was the first time that him and his brother were on top of the world, and nobody knew it was Bo at the time, but it was leading up to something much bigger that we never fucking got. And so, to me, as a massive Bray Wyatt fan, this was something that I bit into wholeheartedly and was ready for whatever you're going to give me. If it's just Uncle Howdy, I'm cool. If it's something bigger than that, I'm cool with it too. What are we getting? And so, I've been following these messages closely. What you got from it, and I would send them to you immediately. And I would, decipher them. We knew immediately within, I'd say, the first or second week that it was a tribute to Bray. Whatever it was a tribute to Bray. We knew it was Bo Dallas. We knew that was happening. And then they started talking about us and the idea of setting them free. And then there were pictures depicting six figures and such. And then, the crow, there's just, and the circle of red, all these different things, right? The sign for Pluto. And so you get all these messages over this time period, and it turns out to be this really, really cool White Rabbit experience one more time, which if you were not a part of that White Rabbit experience leading up to Extreme Rules, it was very unknown who it was going to be, but everybody was crossing their fingers and praying it was Bray, because Bray got fucked, man. Especially after watching that documentary and whatnot, between creative control and the way the Fiend character had to end its run, and the time that he had put in during the pandemic doing what he had done, and then for Vince McMahon to fucking let him go, to me is one of the ultimate sins of the WWE. I don't hold the WWE accountable. I hold Vince accountable. Vince made some fucking terrible decisions, and that was definitely one of them. And so when you knew that when Paul took charge, this was Paul Levesque, you knew that this was a Triple H decision. We were getting Bray back. So it only makes sense that, Triple H did the right thing. And I think they look at it as a cash cow, because it is. But at the same time, like how, I believe they've treated his family 100% with respect and the right way. And they've allowed him to be a part of WrestleMania 40, which was really cool, watching his father get inducted and his uncle get inducted, and the whole thing where they had the panel with the new Fiend suit. I mean, that fucking blew my mind. The fact that he was actually going to come back as a new version of the Fiend, and it was so creepy, man, and so cool looking, and it made you wonder what if. And so the fact that, less than 4 months later, we get this homage, this new story of the Wyatt universe with his brother, he was a good wrestler. It's not like he was bad. His gimmick fucking sucked. Don't get me wrong, but he had talent. And it's so cool that he was able to be given a chance and an opportunity. And obviously he was in the WWE's pipeline for, to be something big, because they had Bray and Uncle Howdy doing this thing for a while, and Uncle Howdy was a major character in it. I mean, that LA Knight match, that whole saga, he kidnapped LA Knight, and it'll be interesting if they ever touch on that. But the point is that leading up to all this, man, has been a fucking blessing, because you don't normally get this. If Eddie Guerrero dies, it doesn't matter if it's LWO or not LWO, you don't get fucking this. You don't get an homage of this scale. And so the fact his brother was able to revive and recreate a character that was given to Bo by Bray, and then to create what Bray Wyatt had wanted of the Wyatt Six, which we do know that Bray had a plan for the Wyatt Six. There was a plan in place now for the Wyatt Six. If you go to his Twitter, they actually said Wyatt Six on it, and this was way beforehand. And if you think about it, if you remember his return, they had showcased all the different Firefly Funhouse characters that he had brought to life in that moment. And they were kind of cheesy costumes, but it was such a cool moment. It was like, holy fuck, he's back. All I can say is that one shot of, all the characters where they're, it starts with the witch coming out. And then, she kind of goes around the lantern and then stands up, points to the back, and then they go to the back, and sure enough, it's a massacre, dude, which we'll get into here in a second. But like, just that one shot, it was all done in one beautiful long shot, and the entire time you're going, what the fuck? I mean, you're seeing characters that you know who they are, but at the same time, it's like seeing it for the first time was really, really trippy. It was such a cool feeling, such a dark and eerie feeling, nothing like it. And then to see Uncle Howdy, but it was like if Rob Zombie got a hold of these characters, dude. Like the way they looked was similar but different, right? And so, I mean, that 5 minutes is one of the most special 5 minutes on Monday Night Raw.
Bone chilling.
Oh my God, dude!
It was amazing cinema.
Yeah, it doesn't get. I mean, literally, I don't think it gets better than that. I could be wrong because we've said that 1,000 times, and here we are. But that it ends up coming out literally within minutes of that whole one shot. In the background on the TVs was the Wyatt 6, and it was SICKS, which is really, really interesting because it shows that it's not spelt 6. Now people are using that because that was the initial term, whatnot. But I mean, I don't know if that ties to the fact that Bray Wyatt got sick. But it's very interesting that it's spelt that way. And then on top of that, if you actually look at the logo where it says "Let Us In," the "us" is spelled with a 5. And so your theory was like, who's the 6th member? And a lot of people, because I remember you texted me that, and a bunch of people were thinking the same thing. And my thought initially was like, well, Bray's the 6th member, so that's why you have 5. And people are wanting Alexa Bliss and all this other stuff, and if they eventually want to move in that direction, that's cool. But I was so just fucking happy seeing those 5. And I would and to get into it a little bit. So you have Bo Dallas as your Uncle Howdy. Let me get their names because I'm so bad with these names. You have Eric Rowan as Rambling Rabbit. Okay, so you have let's see. Okay, so you had Nikki Cross as the witch, Abby the witch. You had Joe Gacy as like the Huskus the pig. You had Eric Rowan as the Rambling Rabbit, and you had Dexter Loomis as the the vulture, Mercy the buzzard. So those were your characters. I don't think I missed any, right? Those were all.
No.
Yeah. And they were just, I mean, they were done so well. It'll be interesting to see kind of what happens because I mean I can't wait to
see it unfold, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for like what story, like the first story that they're gonna get into.
Yeah.
Like how's it going to unfold further and all that jazz. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they make an appearance here at our upcoming event. The vignettes have been like fucking as solid gets.
Like the delivery of the VHS tape.
Yeah.
And watching it later, and it's Bo, talking about everything and having a conversation with Uncle Howdy. And, yeah.
Well, and I think the biggest takeaway is that, I mean, when they were talking about like, hey, do you feel like you're selling out your brother's legacy kind of a thing? It was like, whoa, the fact that they were able to kind of fit that in there. I mean, we're talking, this is high end soap opera drama. This is some of the best we've ever had because it's real. It's blurring those lines like we talked about of, the realism versus soaps. So, and you look into his eyes, bro. I see Bray. Bray the entire time. So, my biggest concerns are, I'm a big costume guy. I love the costumes. My biggest concerns are, how do they wrestle in that? Like, what's their wrestling get up going to look like? Are they just going to take the mask off when they wrestle? Is it going to be kind of that thing, or are they going to be able to find a way to keep it all together and to keep a mystique around them? I just hope they can keep the mystique because The Undertaker is your blueprint. He is the guy to show you that you can take the mask off and you can still be the American Badass, still be different versions over a long period of time. but you have to keep the mystique there at all times. So
Yeah.
if they can find that balance of, I mean, they showed, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty bold move to show Bo Dallas this early. So it's super exciting. And then, dude, I mean, you know, there's only one other faction that I really care about. This is one thing we've been talking about forever. We've been
alluding to this all fucking, like, every
Holy
fucking show.
Shit, dude.
And we're on the cusp.
Oh my God.
I mean, do you want to say, or do you want me to say?
You do it. You go for it. I've been talking.
We are on the cusp of bloodline civil war. That is what's happening now. To get into it, we had a new member show their face not this past Monday, but the Monday before, of Jacob Fatu.
The baddest man on the planet, dude. Oh my God.
This is someone that we were expecting, but we were expecting them like when we had Tama Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
After that we were expecting Jacob Fatu, but we got Tonga Loa.
Dude.
So
good.
And here's the thing. So I'm a little worried about Jacob Fatu coming out this early, because if they're not careful, he will outshine Solo.
Yeah, I mean, they've already made him the enforcer, and I think where you're going with that is definitely in the right direction. I think that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
You know,
so like,
I mean, here I'm going to give a short but a very broad future prediction, way past Money in the Bank. We're going to see here at some point this month. Rumors are Roman is going to return, and it's going to start the infinite feud, right? There's going to be this infinite feud that's going to happen.
right.
Well, I'm going to, on one hand, you have Solo, Tama Tonga, Tama Loa, Jacob Fatu, and The Rock. I'm just going to say that, okay?
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Okay.
very interesting.
Yeah, okay. On the other hand, wait, hold on, it gets even better. So, hold on, it gets so much better. On the other hand, you're going to have Roman. You're going to have Jey Uso. You have Jimmy Uso. You're going to have Zilla Fatu. Okay, that's four. Can you guess who the fifth one is?
We talked about him.
Yes, we did.
Talked about him and how someone needs a faction.
Exactly, dude. Sami Zayn, bro.
Sami Zayn.
And I think that right there, that 5-on-5 is your Survivor Series matchup.
Yes.
And I think that is what gets us to WrestleMania.
Yes.
It's some way, shape, or form. The Rock versus Roman. I think that's what we get. Yeah.
God, man, it's like we're on the same fucking brainwave.
I know, dude. And here's the thing: if we don't get Zilla, we're not probably getting The Rock. And at that point,
right.
I would be shocked if we get Zilla over Sami. I think if you think of stories, and Sami
full circle
is going to need a faction. He's going to need a faction. It was best when he was a part of that faction, and it would be best. Everybody is going to want to see Jimmy, Jay, Sami, and Roman. Everyone.
Everyone.
And it just goes to show that 4v4 is amazing. I mean, the only way you amp it up is to take Jacob's brother, pin him against him, with Zilla. And then add The Rock into it. I mean, that's the only way it gets better. So I do think we get a Survivor Series match. I think that's the next time you see Roman wrestle. I really do. I don't think you see him at SummerSlam. I think you see him at Survivor Series in that War Games match, and that is his road to WrestleMania beginning. So
I'm down with that. I'm with it.
Yeah. It's kind of
felt good to talk about finally. Jesus.
Which is the Jacob Fatu thing. I was really bummed for I was like, okay, Tama Tonga, okay, cool, and everybody's like, oh, he's great, I'm like, yeah, it's weird. He's kind of a snaky dude. I don't like him. And then Tonga Loa has done absolutely nothing. So supposedly he's the muscle. And so I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's what we got, dude. This Bloodline 2.0 is looking, I don't know. And then Jacob Fatu was like, oh, I get it. And there had been rumors that Jacob was going to overshadow Solo accidentally. The company was worried that Solo was going to get overshadowed by Jacob, and immediately his entrance is better. I mean, with the fire, the flames coming up, he's scarier. He's the Samoan werewolf, and he's got a presence that is Samoan that just feels different. It doesn't feel as
It gives very Umaga vibes.
Yes, and it's the vibes that you need. And
imposing, strong, fucking dangerous.
Yeah, and so Solo being Solo was like he's my, what did he call him? His right hand man. His
BFT.
Yeah, and so you have this ceremony at the last SmackDown where it's now Solo's taking over the reins of the head of the table, and the smashing of Paul Heyman, which was a good thing. Yeah, which was a good thing to see, because it showed that story. We're not even close to done. Like, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get the true bloodline civil war that we've always wanted.
Did you hear that Paul Heyman wouldn't eat leading up to that point?
You see how he looked? I mean,
because he wanted to look awful.
Yeah, well, he did.
He wasn't eating or sleeping because he wanted to look that convincing. This is why Paul Heyman's the fucking GOAT.
Mm-hmm. So let's go over this. We got Money in the Bank coming up this weekend. Yeah. It is in Toronto, Canada, as we said earlier on, and I'm going to let you start us off.
So this isn't the official lineup, but we're going to start off, out the gate with the men's Money in the Bank. Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I really don't know who's going to win this one. To be honest, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. This is the first time in like a Money in the Bank where I'm just like, cool. So what I do think an event that will take place during the Money in the Bank is, I can tell you who will not be winning, and that is LA Knight. LA Knight will not be winning Money in the Bank because I think Logan Paul is going to interfere in some way, shape, or form, removing LA Knight, preventing him from winning, and setting up for Logan Paul versus LA Knight at SummerSlam. That is the one thing that's going to happen out of this match that I can say confidently. Now, as far as people that are going to win, I mean, it's going to either be Jay or Drew. That's just who I think. Like, you could maybe go wild card and go Andrade, but I don't think Chad or Carmelo get it.
Yeah. I've got some insider information. This is why I don't think this match is opening the card, but like you said, we don't have the exact order of how this is going to go down. But this match is too big of a match to be an opener. This could maybe even close the show. That's how big it is. Sure. I will say that what I saw on Twitter was very alarming. It said LA Knight gets screwed by Logan Paul. 100% agree. Chad Gable gets screwed by the Wyatts. I agree. And Drew McIntyre gets screwed once again by CM Punk, but it didn't say CM Punk. It said AJ Lee. Now, I don't know why, but I know that there's a history there. And from my understanding, there's a talk that she may be returning of some sort.
Oh, God.
I know. Yeah. So
fucking gag me.
Yeah. I don't know if it was in a recent promo that she was brought up, but it was very confident AJ Lee, and it was so many people were like liking it, and like, dude, that's amazing. That is totally what's going to happen. So with that being said, I came across something the other day because I tend to go to the WWE site a lot. Yeah, the Yeet in the Bank. Dude, he's on the fucking cover of the poster. So when you click the link and you scroll down, you look at the merchandise, he is the poster.
Yeah.
You're telling me who just won, in my opinion. There's no way he loses. Who do you give it to? You give it to Jay because he can, one, sell you product, Two, on top of that, they've already come up with an amazing theme called the Yee in the Bang, dude. It's already all over the website. The fucking the winner is already all over their website. Dude, I was like,
are we gonna get away from the blue Jay and we're gonna get fucking green?
Green and yellow. I mean,
dude, I'm down with it, dude. I think Jay's gonna win. He's like to me, it just makes the most sense.
Why would you? And here's the thing. This is the poster art for the fucking event. Like, it's the Yee in the Bank. You're telling me that they went as far to make posters of this, and he's going to be the dude. That means there's going to be chairs that they're selling that are going to have that logo on it. You telling me that that's the guy who's going to lose?
Let's move on to the women's.
Okay. Well, this is so fun.
Yeah, we have Io Sky, which I know you love her so much.
My favorite.
Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. I mean, there's only two options I see out of this entire list, and I think that's Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the clear choices. I think Io Sky falls on deaf ears. I don't think she has pull. She's not a good champion. Lyra Valkyria is still too green to get a title shot like that and carry around something as prestigious as the Money in the Bank contract. I do think she's great. I just don't think she's there yet. It's like everything, like it. She sounds scripted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's not selling what she's saying yet. She's not there yet. Naomi is boring. She's fucking boring. And Zoe Stark, boring.
Yeah. Marketing wise, coming out of Money in the Bank as a winner, who marketing wise makes the most sense for that Money in the Bank briefcase?
I'd say Tiffany. I'd say Tiffany does edge over Chelsea.
I think you. I'm gonna go with the safe bet, which I believe is Tiffany Stratton. But I could see them building a storyline around Naomi holding a Money in the Bank briefcase and then turning on her friend Bailey.
That'd probably be the most exciting thing she's done in her entire wrestling career.
I know, dude. That
I don't mean to shit on her. Like, no. I think she's fun. Like, she's fine,
yeah, she's got the coolest like get up, man. But
she's okay in the ring.
Yeah,
but she's ass on the mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna Tiffany, 100%, dude. This is not a match. Listen, I hope it's as good as last year's because last year's was funny. Yeah. Last year's I totally got into. What's crazy about last year's matches? We had fucking Trish Stratus in that match, dude. We were so fucking spoiled.
It makes me miss fucking Charlotte Flair.
I know.
Can you fucking believe that? Like, I can't believe I'm saying those fucking words that I miss Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God damn it. So we're going Tiffany?
Yeah.
I got no crazy predictions for this thing.
Neither. I mean, dude, it's just got to be as funny as last year's.
I hope so. Yeah. Chelsea will do some funny shit.
Yeah, I hope so, dude. Make me like her, you know?
Moving on to Damian Priest versus Seth frickin' Rollins.
Cool to see Seth back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The whole point is that if Seth loses, he can't challenge Damian again. If Damian loses, he can't challenge Seth. Is that the whole deal?
Like that, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Damian wins. Seth.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Imagine Seth wins.
I'd be like, okay, that's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, he had a year with the belt.
You'd been better off giving Drew the title and not having him win it. Fucking Clash.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it sparks something between Damian and Seth for a minute. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll take. I mean, Damian. I think Damian's doing a really good job. I think the things that are happening within the Judgment Day is fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. I love it. Just you get the tension between
tag team championships. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. You go ahead and do the next one.
All right, this is a fun one. So. This is we talked about our Goldberg moment, or Goldberg kind of segment, and we're about to get it, man. Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship versus Braun Breaker. This is one where I've read into it maybe a little too much. When I say Goldberg, there's a lot of ties here. Braun Breaker has the Goldberg tattoo upside down on his arm. which is something that is really, if you look at his one tattoo on his shoulder, it is literally the Goldberg tattoo, tattooed upside down. Yeah, he was a big fan as a kid. Yeah, so it's quite hilarious. Kind of a weird way to tramp stamp yourself. But he is the prodigy of all prodigies, man. He is the Steiner brothers kid if they were to have intercourse and have a child. He is. There is no mother there, dude. It is.
His dad, it sounds like his uncle.
Yeah, dude. He is Rick and Scott combined. Man.
That's fucking great, bro.
But so the WWE has parted ways with Goldberg and basically want nothing to do with him. Since Braun had made his way into NXT, the Steiner brothers have been in good, have come back to being in good fate and good relationships with the WWE. And it's funny that the kid is the one who brought them all full circle back together. Now, with that being said, Braun being kind of the star he was as a football player and the stature that he has and whatnot, he has every potential to be better than his dad and his uncle. And he's so young. And what he did in NXT was tremendous, from him running as a title, as the champion of NXT, to tag team titles in NXT. It was an amazing run and really gave him both perspectives of heel and babyface. I will say this is the end of Sami Zayn's run. This is the beginning of the new Goldberg era. Braun Breaker will not lose a match anytime soon. He will hold a record for the most victories or something along those lines. In my eyes, they are trying to bury Goldberg. Goldberg was not good, from my understanding, relationship-wise with the company. He had a lot of bad publicity with the company in the last few years because he felt betrayed by Vince, because he was told that if he, let Roman win, that he would get a retirement match, and it was never held true. And so he kind of went and exposed the WWE. I think if anybody, the thing is if anybody's going to hold that belt, and it's not going to be Sammy, it needs to be somebody who can carry weight with that belt and make that belt be just as respected as it was with Gunther, just as respected as it was with Sammy. So that way Sammy's run looks legit. And I think Braun really is that guy that will hold the belt for a long period of time and can be feared. Gunther was feared, and that's the one thing that we, Sammy, man, and he's put on a good run, but it's been quite actually a short run. He's only had Chad Gable and Gunther, but
we'll see.
We'll see, man. It's exciting. I'm excited for it. For the first time, I'm excited for a Sami Zayn. I'm excited for a title match. So
yeah,
in a while.
So our last match that we have is Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Any combination of Solo, Tama, Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. So I do think that Jacob Fatu is going to be a part of the three. I would say it would be Jacob, Tama Tonga, and Solo in the match versus Cody, Randy, Kevin.
Yeah, I think it's Solo, Tama, and Jacob. But then it's almost like you'd got to give maybe Solo doesn't wrestle. Maybe it's Tama, Tonga, and Jacob. In that way, it's he's like, you guys take care of this. Yeah, exactly. Which would probably make the most sense because that's the way they kind of run the show.
Okay. This one, it's just I think a no-brainer Bloodline win.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
It sucks that and I don't think it's going to be a clean win. Mm-hmm. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, here's the thing. When I break it down, I'm like, okay, we've seen Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. We've seen Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. We've definitely seen Cody versus the Bloodline. What the fuck are we doing? Like, why?
This is the most underwhelming match to me.
It totally is. And so my thing is that in order to keep this in line or to close the saga out, you're either going to have the bloodline just dominate, right? But that doesn't make sense because if you look at the heroes on the card the entire night, there's really not a ton of them. There's not a whole lot of white knight moments. Like Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins, it's like it's a toss up. It's not like this is the guy we got to root for him, right? So when you look at Cody, Randy, and Kevin, it's like those are the guys you got to root for because they're going to put a stop to this bloodline. I kind of feel like Cody, Randy, and Kevin win, but I don't know where the story goes. I don't
know, man.
Yeah, I am.
That's why I say like if you're gonna have any like if you gotta progress I guess carry a story,
it's the bloodline.
Like it's got to have the bloodline win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just me.
So you're right. No, I think you're 1,000% right because you can't have Jacob and Tonga and Tama be this new and be scary if they lose. So I'm going with I'm right there with you, dude. It's got to be the bloodline. As much as I would like to think that in some weird world, Cody, Randy, and Kevin win to close out a story. Because I'm sick of seeing.
It's stupid. I don't know. I think it's being drug on a little too long.
Yeah, and then the whole Randy and Kevin thing makes no sense because they've never been a tag team, but then they have shared merchandise. I mean, they've been a tag team, but not like a competitive tag team. Like they haven't. Whatever. I don't fucking know, dude.
They got to give them something because they're big boys and their name. So it's.
And you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with it. It should be a fun match. I mean, really, this card is not a sleeper. This is a much better card. And as all I hope was walking away from this, every single one of these matches has a prediction that continues or creates a new storyline that progresses in a positive direction because there are so many cool storylines going on right now in the WWE that just feed me more, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, and this is off topic from Money in the Bank, but it's kind of crazy to think like, was it a month ago we were at one of the PLEs and it was out of nowhere. The whole Dominic and what's her name? Not Rhea. Dominic and what's the other chick? Dominic. The issue. The Liv. Dominic and Liv. It was on the PLE that it was kind of like announced, like, "Hey, I'm gonna make sure you don't win that title." And it was like, oh, here's the beginning of it. So you never know what's going to happen at the PLE. You don't know what kind of stuff's going to unfold that's going to carry weeks on afterwards. So it's going to be entertaining to watch. It's going to be interesting to see what little Easter eggs we get.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, that, like I said, I can't imagine that being the end of the night match.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't hold. If it does hold enough weight, I'm not watching SmackDown the right way. I mean, I will tell you this: I've been favoring Raw for the last month or so, because I feel like it's been the better show. Yeah. SmackDown has been good, but not enough for me to like. I'll watch more highlights than I actually.
The only good thing going on is LA Knight.
Yeah, and
like he's the thing, like the thing that he's been doing with Logan Paul has been hilarious.
What's funny about that is that we all know that's what's leading up to SummerSlam, and so like that's exciting. Which is we get to talk next podcast. We get to talk about that, and it's kind of a bummer that story is getting buried in all of this because that story is going to be a shining moment with kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning where like. There's an opportunity somebody's getting with a belt that they have not had, and this is the first time, man, we are really seeing like a chance. We saw him versus Roman, LA Knight versus Roman, but we all knew like the chance of that happening was so minimal. So man, what a freaking what a crazy. Just the PLEs, man, they just keep coming and just keep hitting us with awesome stories and excitement.
We get to have awesome conversations like this. So
yeah, dude,
always excited.
Yes, we'll be back for next the next event, which I believe is SummerSlam, right?
SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Ooh, that should be a hot one. It's probably this time of year, man. Is it inside?
It'll be inside, and it's. I mean, it'll be in the 80s, 90s. I'm gonna try to go,
Dude, I would love to go.
because it's. I mean, Cleveland's only a 2.5 hour drive for me.
Oh man, yeah, no, I'd have to fly, but
Yeah.
it seems
All
like
right,
it'd be a
I'll
good
see you
time.
there.
Yeah, dude.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, dude,
WWE, send us there, okay?
Yeah,
Fuck.
please, that'd be amazing, dude. You know, I wonder if we down the line could get a media.
Media pass.
Dude, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have our own deal. We have our own podcast. I wonder if we might have to look into it down the line.
Yeah. Let's
Anyway,
look into it.
all right, okay, we're off topic.
All right.
Let's get out of here, dude. With that being said, this is another episode. This is the end of another episode of the Lower Mid Card Podcast. We'll see you next time.